The hour is late. Everyone in here is tired. I will be brief, but this bill will affect 8 million people in this Commonwealth for the next decade. Yesterday was about legal arguments. Today we talk about policy and what's right. Last night I had the privilege of speaking at the Sorensen Institute dinner along with our speaker and the majority leader of the Senate and the minority leader. And I told a joke about my good friend from Henrico and his Rorschach ink blot. And we kidded about redistricting. But one of the things that I said to the group in seriousness last night is that we are in sore need of a nonpartisan commission to draw lines. Now, in drawing a redistricting plan in this Commonwealth, when subject to the Voting Rights Act, the first thing that one has to do is make it legal. And that means compliance with Section 2 and Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act. And so that was in the criteria. But we've all seen the criteria list that came out of the Privileges and Elections Committee about keeping communities together and communities of interest and contiguity and population deviations. Let's not kid ourselves. The number one criteria in the drafting of a redistricting plan, 5001 or the one down the hall in the Senate, is protecting the incumbents of the majority party, and when convenient, protecting incumbents of the minority party. That's what this is about. I was here in 2001 when it was done. Some of you were here in 1991 when it was done, some in 81, 71 when it was done. And whether it's gerrymandering by Republicans or gerrymandering by Democrats, it's still gerrymandering. And I'm not going to defend the same act when it goes on down the hall. It is the most selfish exercise in politics, in government. One that will turn friend on friend. You know, when they train lifeguards, and you've seen on Baywatch, they have the red floats. They tell a lifeguard, when you get near a drowning person, don't touch them. They'll grab you and pull you under. Give them the float. It is that much at stake. And I suppose that it's easy to do and get away with because the public either doesn't get it or doesn't care. It's not like raising their taxes or taking away their pellet guns. I mean, in fact, I would say if you walked up to 10 people on the street and said, well, they're doing redistricting, what's that? 9 of them couldn't tell you what it was. But it is the most basic of what we do because it affects everything we do because it affects how we select ourselves. You know, some may say, well, the only reason you're standing up is because it gets you. This isn't about Ward Armstrong. You know, you can replace the President of the United States. You can replace me. I won't be remembered 10 minutes after I'm gone. And at the end of the day, that doesn't matter either. What does matter, though, is that people are able to choose for themselves their own representatives, not the other way around. That we carve these districts up so the outcome is preordained. and we do it to protect ourselves. Well, I suppose it'll be what it'll be. I know the outcome of this vote. There probably won't be single digits against it in a few minutes. You know who could stop this? The guy that sleeps across the street. And in fact, I'll tell you, that's what it's going to take. If Bob McDonald said, I will veto any bill that gets to my desk that's not the result of a nonpartisan commission, it would end. Either you send a nonpartisan commission bill or you can go to federal court, take your choice, and that would end it. But no, we all know that that isn't going to happen. I heard earlier today that he keeps campaign promises. Well, he doesn't keep all of them. He isn't going to keep this one. You know, when I leave this place on a lot of days, I've really felt good. The day that we passed the bill that created that new college back in Martinsville, I said, you know, it really made a difference. But is anybody really going to feel good when you went out of here today and we whacked these districts that we have deprived these people, the people that live in them, of the ability to choose their own delegates? You know, one other point that I want to make that when I was laying in bed the other night and I thought about, I went around the chamber today during one of the breaks and I counted the number of women in this chamber. There's 18. With one fell swoop of a bill, you're going to get rid of 2 of them. That's 10% of the women in this chamber. As hard as it is to elect women in this state to these positions, and we're going to kick 2 of them out the back door in just a few minutes. Well, I don't know, Mr. Speaker. I guess maybe at this point in time, anything more I say, I'm going to go to whining. But if anybody thinks that this is the General Assembly's finest hour in cutting a bill like this, well, they're sadly mistaken. Do what you will.